I've had so many questions come through about the Fisker Ocean recently that answering your comments is the most important thing I'm doing right now. And some of the comments are kind of life-changing questions. And sometimes a viewer makes a comment that summarizes the entire thought process of the community in one nutshell. And I'd like to address that comment now. I'm having some serious concerns about my Fisker Ocean purchase. Coming very soon and time to pay up. I would lose $5,000 if I changed my mind. I still really like the design of the car. It's just the Henrik Fisker business model that still seems to haunt him. I think it's his ego that could get in the way of the success of this product. Why didn't he listen to what people really wanted? Still bothers me. Ventilated seats, HomeLink remote, Android or Apple Play, etc. were basic things at this price point he avoided. Oh, I can work around these things, but should not have had to. My question to you, are you going to purchase your Ocean? And if so, why? I wonder if this car will have a good resale value if it doesn't work out for me. I'm concerned about it now, more than ever, and have days to finalize. If I don't buy this car, I would be going back to another ICE vehicle that won't be around until next year. Tired of waiting for cars, I suppose. If you were on the fence of whether or not to take delivery of your upcoming Fisker Ocean, let me help you answer that question for yourself the best way I know how. You know what it is. It's a low-res chart. You know, like if Excel was made by a 5-year-old. Along the top of our chart, we're going to write the vehicles. The Ocean is obviously one of the cars we want to analyze. Next would be a Tesla Model Y, which is the most legitimate alternative. Then I'll just write my car, which my car is actually a Model Y. But in this test, I can use the Model Y as a comparison, and for my car, I'll use my car. A 2012 gas-guzzling Toyota RAV4. And just for comparison's sake, the EV6 and Ioniq 5 are great cars. You can buy them right now. They're readily available. So let's throw those into the mix as well. Next, down the side, let's write the things that we want most out of a vehicle. And from there, there's no other rules. I'll just write in some stuff that I think most people want in a car, and you can let me know what I missed in the comments. Road trips will be great in the Ocean with lots and lots of range, but until 2025, we have to use the not fun to use chargers, and there's no adaptive cruise, so bed emoji because you'll be more fatigued, and magic wand emoji to signify the need for the over-the-air update. The Model Y is the best road trip car on Earth for the money right now. Charge curve, network, ease of use, driver assistance, and passenger space. Network. So we'll just put this guy here. For my car, let's just put a bunch of dollar signs for the price of gas and a bed emoji because it just has standard cruise. The EV6 and Ioniq 5 are the best cars for the not fun to use chargers, so let's just put 8 out of 10. For more on this, check out my road trip video. And remember, the only reason the EV6 and Ioniq 5 are not as good as the Model Y is the charging network. The cars technically are better. Under fun to drive, the Ocean has the most power, so 9. For Model Y, let's put a picture of a Toyota Camry because most people seem to hate the Model Y, even those who haven't driven one. And probably because it's boring. Under my car, let's just put a picture of my car because we're trying to be nice. And if you can't say anything nice, well, RAV4 picture. And the EV6 and Ioniq 5 just get a thumbs up because they're fun. And if you like the concept of this video, you could hit the subscribe button, smash the like, hit the bell. There's at least one YouTuber on the edge of financial insolvency who would greatly appreciate it. Under Jones's, which is kinda exclusivity and curb appeal and driveway appeal all wrapped into one, we can put a Bryan Cranston dropping the mic GIF or GIF for the Ocean. How about another picture of that Toyota Camry for the Model Y? A picture of a cul-de-sac for the RAV4 because if you're in a cul-de-sac, you'll probably find at least one RAV4. And a picture of Ryan Gosling in a pink shirt saying, "So cool," for the EV6 and Ioniq 5. And if you don't think Ryan Gosling in a pink shirt is cool, go test drive an EV6 or Ioniq 5. For cost, the Ocean gets 4 out of 5 dollar signs because right now, the Ocean that's being delivered costs a lot of money. And the Model Y gets 2 out of 5 dollar signs because, well, they have a rear-wheel drive model now that's like available and buyable and $7,500 tax credit, so it's literally half the price. The regular car gets 1 out of 5 dollar signs because regardless of how much it costs to drive on a road trip, it is the cheapest option to own. And the EV6 and Ioniq 5 get 3 out of 5 dollar signs. They're pretty affordable, but there are markups and it is a dealership model, so we don't really know how much you're gonna pay. Under fam, everyone gets a thumbs up because the fam believes in you. And the Ocean gets 2 thumbs up because The Ocean has cooler windows and roofs. My wife told me to also give the Model Y 2 thumbs up because Netflix and games as well as farts. So 2 thumbs up for the Model Y as well. And let's throw that second thumbs up in for the EV6 and Ioniq 5 because of ambient lighting. For features, the Y gets a check mark, the RAV4 gets a frowny face, and the EV6 and Ioniq 5 get a camera emoji because that's the feature they have missing compared to the Model Y. Sentry mode. If I switched from a Model Y to an EV6, it's probably the only feature on the Model Y I would miss. I am absolutely obsessed with Sentry mode. For service, I have owned a lot of regular ICE cars, and I have owned a Tesla, and other than deciding whether or not to accept delivery of that specific unit, Tesla's service is good. I think the Model Y probably wins this one, so let's just put win for Model Y. The EV6 and Ioniq 5 will be ready for over-the-air updates, will eventually get the next connector, and do have a dealership network. So 2 thumbs up. My car, you probably know exactly where to take your car to get every type of service, but there may be more service involved, so just 1 thumbs up. And the Ocean gets a big fat question mark.
I don't know.
There's your reality. And of course, wow question mark is exactly that.
Wow.
Wow.
We'll give my car a not on your life, the EV6 and Ioniq 5s, and obviously the Model Y a no with a period, and you know that's passive-aggressive. And, of course, for the Ocean, for time. Time is on your side.
Time after time.
There are a lot of songs about time, and I could quote tons of lyrics. But how much of your time will you have to sacrifice to own these cars? The Ocean gets a loudspeaker for poor communication. My car gets a check mark because it's older. The Model Y is probably going to get another DJ Khaled, because if you don't want the answer from the service center, the community also would have the answer, and everything that could ever possibly happen to a Model Y has already happened. And the Kia EV6 and Ioniq 5 get a happy emoji with hearts, because that's probably how you'll feel about the amount of time you have to dedicate to owning this car. Oh, and did I forget features for the Fisker Ocean? Question mark, magic wand, loudspeaker, and 1/2 of a DJ Khaled. Because the Ocean has potential to win in features, but in order for that to take place, they would have to honor their promises and add a whole bunch of stuff via over-the-air updates that they've either promised or not promised at different time intervals. And remember, this is my chart, not your chart, because your chart probably looks more professional and could or could not have different things or different ratings. Also, different cars. There may be things that are really important to you that I listed, like Apple CarPlay. I did a little poll about Apple CarPlay today. Here's the results. So most of you think that Apple CarPlay is necessary. And what does Henrik Fisker think?
We felt that our software and our UI is so good that we don't need Apple CarPlay. And I say that right now because maybe we get a whole bunch of people saying, we still like it better. Who knows? But we want to take a risk here.
If service is important to you, the best way to look at that would be to think about your historical performance when it comes to service. If you've got multiple drivers driving the car, if you're giving the car to a young person, if you're putting a whole lot of miles on the car, service may be really important. If you're somebody like me who is obsessive about learning how to do service on your own, extremely careful about where you drive, how you park, and you have another car to drive and park in situations where you wouldn't want to park the Ocean, maybe service isn't as important. When it comes to road tripping, for me, I have a road trip car. I'm going to keep my Model Y. So the road trip thing doesn't matter to me. Another reason why I got the Sport. And to answer your question in the comment, am I going to get my Sport model? Yes. I will be getting the Sport model just so you guys can check it out. So my situation, once again, is obviously different than some of yours may be. Fun to drive, I don't care. I'm not a fun to drive type of person. Every car I've chosen to own in my life, I have chosen because of efficiency or cost savings. The Joneses thing is neat, and I definitely appreciate this. The Model Y still does this for me where I live, because I live in a state where the future isn't necessarily something we are jumping on right away. Everything seems to happen 10 years later than everywhere else here in West Virginia. And I'm pretty sure that once I get my Ocean, people won't consider it to be a new electric vehicle. It may be assumed to be an alien spacecraft by some. Cost is a big deal. I think the ultra folks are really the ones that are going to have the toughest decisions to make. I don't think you're going to lose money on a Fisker Ocean 1 if you value the first few thousand miles. I don't think you're going to get over sticker because they're already out there for sticker. By the way, the Ocean that was for sale on Cars and Bids did not sell. It was bid to $65,000, which was less than the reserve. But there will definitely be people willing to pay for that Fisker Ocean 1 badge, especially if you're willing to hold on to it for a couple years and not drive it. But if you live in an area that doesn't require four-wheel drive, and you're you're just looking for something new and electric, that rear-wheel drive Model Y is going to be extremely tough to overlook. Obviously, the EV6 and Ioniq 5, from a cost standpoint, they are still pretty expensive to get. You can get lower trim levels. For example, if you're getting a Wind EV6, there may be some really important features that you're missing there. And a GT line EV6 could be $10,000 to $15,000 more than a Model Y at this point because of the lack of a tax credit. I'm never going to get this right for you, but I hope these are some of the things you consider when you make your final decision, if you haven't made your final decision. For those of you getting an Ocean, I still think you're on the right path. I think you're going to enjoy the vehicle. I think the curb appeal alone will overcome a lot of the doubts and questions that you have, especially if you live in the eastern United States. You are going to be the only person in your town, zip code, general area that has one, unless you did a his and hers or something. To my long-standing viewers, I am almost to 5,000 subscribers, which is enough subscribers to admit to my wife that I actually do this for real. So if you haven't subscribed, definitely consider that. Check out my test drive here. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, smash the like button.
Thank you.